Hey, what's up? I just wanted to shoot a 2-minute video on how to walk. We just finished up, or we're finishing up, a walking challenge with our clients. And years ago, I would have thought it was stupid to do a walking challenge. Walking, what is that going to do for you? Now, as I've gotten a lot of experience, I realize that it's one of the best things for you. There's so many benefits to walking. I won't go through them, but it really is those little things that we do each day. So it was just a 20-minute walk per day was the challenge, and it just creates, again, so many benefits. But I wanted to talk about the technique of walking. Sounds kind of weird, but we do so much of it. Depending on your schedule and your lifestyle, you may walk 5,000 steps or more per day. That can be a lot of force, especially on that low back. And I know low back issues all too well. So I wanted to share, I am not a physical therapist. I'm not providing any medical advice or anything like that. So you definitely want to consult with somebody in that area. I'll just share just some basic tips that I think will help and that have helped me. So I'm mostly going to talk about how to take the pressure off of your back when you're walking. You're taking so many steps. So I'll share a few things here. So first, it sounds weird to practice walking, but you can do that. You do want to get a sort of like a postural or a movement analysis just to see, because everybody's got different issues. Some people, their hips tend to hike up to one side. Other people tend to sort of arch or extend at their lower back. They do a pelvic tilt there. So you want to learn how to find that neutral spine, especially that's just like tucking your tail, keeping your back in alignment. It's called neutral spine. So that's going to be really important for almost any activity or any exercise. But a couple of things that will take the pressure off of your back are going to be, you're going to walk with your heel. Your heel is going to hit the floor, and that's going to take a tremendous amount of pressure off of your back. So that's one thing. If it's hard to balance, you can hold on to do this. Again, try your best to make sure that your hips and the spine are neutral, and you have good support there. So the heel strike was the first. The second thing is your knee bend. It sounds so obvious, perhaps, but using that bend in your knee to take the pressure off of your spine, especially your lower spine. So the heel strike, the knee bend, and a lot of people, why it's so important to possibly get an analysis from a professional is a lot of people tend to turn their feet out, right? So they turn their feet out, and maybe this is extreme, but they're doing this kind of like they're walking with a kickstand on one or both sides. That can lead to a lot of problems in your joints, in your knees, your ankles, your back, pretty much everything. So you want to watch out for that. So one of the ways you can try to make sure you're getting a good natural rotation with your hips is when you're taking a step, you're going to sort of land with the outside part of your heel first. So you land with the outside part of your heel. That just naturally gives you a good rotation with the hips there. So it's nice and natural. The last thing I will say is your glutes. You hear that a lot, like you got to activate those glutes. A lot of us, we're sitting. We have different imbalances and different issues, asymmetries. So our glutes aren't firing, and that causes a lot of unnecessary pressure on the back and problems with your joints. So try to make sure that both when you're pushing off to take your next step and when you're pulling your hip back, when I'm pulling my hip back in its socket, I'm using my glutes to do that. So it's a combination of all those things, and it might take a little bit of practice. I'm not trying to get you to walk like a robot, but just keep those things in mind. The heel strike, the knee bend, and the glute activations. Just stick with those three things. And of course, if you need, get a proper analysis so you can really work on your specific issues. But I just wanted to share this because we've been thinking a lot about walking, talking a lot about walking. I hope it helps. Let me know. Again, I'm not a therapist on this. I just have my own experience, many years for my own and training clients. So just take that for what it is, but hopefully you find it helpful.